They've inspired millions with their compassion for animals. But behind the cameras of the incredible Dr. Pol, one woman has carried a weight the audience never saw coming. Diane Pol, the heart and quiet anchor of the Pol family, has spent decades showing viewers kindness, resilience, and unwavering dedication. While the world watched her guide injured animals and support her husband's demanding veterinary work, few ever imagined the painful tragedies unfolding just out of sight. Today, we uncover what really happened to Diane Pol and why her journey remains one of the most emotional, resilient, and untold chapters in the entire history of the incredible Dr. Pol. Let's begin. Before the world knew her as the steady force behind the incredible Dr. Pol, Diane Pol was simply a Midwestern girl shaped by family, hard work, and compassion. Born in small-town America, her childhood reflected the values that define the region: community, humility, and a deep respect for living things. Even as a child, she was the one who stepped in to comfort a frightened animal or help a family member in need. That early instinct to care for others quietly set the foundation for the life she would one day build. Diane's academic path took her to the University of Michigan, where she entered a generation of women stepping boldly into higher education. She chose to study biology, driven by a genuine curiosity about the natural world and a desire to understand how life worked. Her coursework was demanding, but it fueled the passion that would later align perfectly with the direction her life was about to take. It was at the University of Michigan that Diane met a determined young veterinary student from the Netherlands named Diane Pol. Their meeting felt almost inevitable. Diane admired Jan's work ethic and his devotion to animal care, while he was drawn to her intelligence, kindness, and quiet strength. Their connection deepened quickly, and in 1967, they married, beginning a partnership that blended love, purpose, and a shared mission. After completing their studies, the couple moved to Weidman, Michigan, where they hoped to build a life rooted in service. In 1981, Jan, now Dr. Pol, opened his veterinary clinic. It started small, but Diane was there from the beginning, ensuring the practice had the support it needed to grow. She managed appointments, handled administrative work, organized the business, and became the backbone of the clinic's daily operations. Her training in biology, paired with her natural practicality, made her an essential part of every success the clinic achieved. Over the years, Pol Veterinary Services became a cornerstone of the community. Farmers trusted them, families relied on them, and behind every long night, every emergency call, and every exhausted morning stood Diane, steady, devoted, and quietly shaping the legacy that would one day reach millions through television. As Diane and Dr. Pol worked tirelessly to build their clinic, they were also building a family. Over the years, they adopted 3 children, Kathy, Charles, and Diane Jr., each bringing their own personality, joy, and challenges into the Pol household. Diane and Jan raised them with the same values that shaped their own lives: compassion, responsibility, and a deep respect for both people and animals. Growing up around the clinic, the children often helped with small tasks, absorbing the rhythms of rural veterinary work from an early age. Among the 3, Charles, the youngest, took a very different path. Instead of pursuing animal care, he was drawn to storytelling and film. After completing his education, he moved to Los Angeles to work in production, gaining experience in an industry far removed from the fields and barns of Michigan. But his time away eventually led him back home with an idea that would change the family's life forever. Charles believed there was something special about the everyday chaos of Pol Veterinary Services. The emergencies, the personalities, the animals. He saw a story worth telling. With his production background, he proposed turning his father's practice into a reality show. He knew viewers would connect not just with Dr. Pol's hands-on approach, but also with Diane's steady influence behind the scenes. With Charles guiding the project, The Incredible Dr. Pol premiered on Nat Geo Wild in 2011. The show quickly found an audience. People were captivated by its raw, authentic portrayal of farm calls, late-night emergencies, difficult diagnoses, and the emotional highs and lows of veterinary work. The Pol family's warmth and the realness of their lives set the show apart. Though not always in front of the camera, Diane's presence was essential. She kept the clinic organized, supported the staff, managed the increased demands brought by fame, and ensured that the heart of the operation never changed. Fans admired her calm strength, her quiet leadership, and her unwavering loyalty to both her family and the animals they served. But with fame came challenges. Increased visibility brought scrutiny, and the Pols faced criticism and even legal disputes over their veterinary methods. Through every accusation and every hard moment, Diane stood firmly by her husband's side, steady, loyal, and unshakable. Her resilience became one of the most admired elements of the show, proving that she was not just the quiet force behind the scenes, but the emotional anchor of the entire Pol family. Diane's resilience would be tested again and again as the years went on. The Pols had always been a remarkably close-knit family, brought even closer through the success of the show. That closeness made the tragedy that followed even more painful. In 2016, the family suffered a heartbreaking loss when their son-in-law, Greg, passed away. Married to their eldest daughter, Kathy, Greg had long been woven into the fabric of the Pol family, and his sudden death left a wound that time alone could not easily heal. Greg, a native of Bay City, Michigan, fit seamlessly into the Pols' world. He shared their values: hard work, devotion to family, and quiet strength. He worked tirelessly to provide for Kathy and their two children, Rachel and Adam, creating a warm and stable home built on love and mutual respect. Though the family has always chosen to keep the details private, it is known that Greg battled cancer, a fight he was ultimately unable to overcome. For Kathy, Greg's death was life-shattering. Overnight, she became a widow and a single mother, forced to support her children through grief while wrestling with her own heartbreak. The loss affected every member of the Pol family, but for Diane, it cut particularly deep. She had always treated Greg like a son, and losing him felt like losing a piece of her own heart. As the family matriarch, she stepped forward with quiet strength, helping Kathy and the grandchildren through the darkest period of their lives. Even the clinic and the filming of The Incredible Dr. Pol felt the impact. The grief within the family was unmistakable, and their work carried the weight of that absence. Yet through the sorrow, the Pols remained united, leaning on each other, honoring Greg's memory, and finding strength in the love he had left behind. But as devastating as Greg's death was, the family had no way of knowing that another tragedy was waiting just ahead. And once again, it would strike Kathy directly, shaking the entire family to its core. Tragedy struck the Pol family once again in 2019 with the heartbreaking loss of Diane's grandson, Adam James Butch. Adam, the son of Kathy, shared a close and loving relationship with his grandparents and had appeared on The Incredible Dr. Pol several times. His sudden death at just 23 years old left fans devastated and searching for answers. But the family chose to keep most details private. Still, those close to the situation quietly suggested that Adam had long struggled with depression, and complications from that battle may have contributed to his passing. Born on August 20th, 1996, Adam was the light of Kathy and Greg's lives. He was known for his gentle personality and deep desire to help others. He worked as a pharmacy technician and had ambitions that promised a bright future. His warmth made him a beloved presence in the Pol household and on social media, where viewers grew fond of his appearances and stories. Losing Adam just 3 years after losing his father, Greg, was a blow that shook the family to its core. Through all of this heartbreak, Diane continued to show remarkable strength. Each loss, not just as a grandmother, but as a mother watching her own daughter suffer, cut deeply. Yet she remained the quiet anchor of the Pol family, finding ways to support Kathy, her grandchildren, and everyone connected to the clinic. Behind Diane stood Dr. Diane Pol, who became her constant source of strength. The couple, married since 1967, leaned on the bond formed over decades of partnership, love, and shared purpose. Jan offered emotional comfort, a steady presence, a listening ear, and unwavering support when grief became overwhelming. He also helped Diane stay connected to daily life, involving her in the veterinary clinic and encouraging her to remain close to the rest of the family. Their shared work caring for animals became a form of healing. The routine of the clinic, the responsibility of helping others, and the love of their community provided structure during moments when grief felt impossible to carry. Together, Jan and Diane found solace in the rhythms of their practice and the compassion it required. In recent years, Diane has faced her own health struggles, managing chronic conditions while still showing up for her family and for viewers of the show. Despite everything, she remains a steady, comforting presence, proof of her incredible resilience. Through unimaginable losses, Diane continues to stand strong, supported by Jan, her loved ones, and a loyal audience who admires her courage. And even as the Pol family continues to heal, they remain committed to their work and to sharing their lives with fans, drawing strength from the community that has supported them through every triumph and every tragedy. The incredible Dr. Pol continues to thrive, and at the center of that success are Diane and Diane Pol. Together, they helped turn the show into more than just a series about farm calls and animal emergencies. It became a celebration of rural veterinarians and the essential role they play in the lives of families and farmers across America. Through their openness and dedication, the Pols gave viewers a rare chance to see not just the work they do, but the values, sacrifices, and heart that hold their family together. For Diane, the journey has been one marked by deep love, unimaginable loss, and remarkable resilience. Even in her darkest moments, she found the strength to support her family and keep moving forward. She has become far more than Dr. Pol's wife. She is the emotional anchor of the entire family, the quiet force keeping everything steady. Through the show, viewers have witnessed her grace, kindness, and perseverance, learning powerful lessons about compassion, family, and the strength it takes to keep going after heartbreak. Diane's story is a reminder that while tragedy may shape us, it does not define us, and the human spirit is capable of enduring more than we ever expect. Amid the sorrow the family has faced, brighter moments have emerged, one of them being a new adventure that has excited fans everywhere. Earlier this year, the Pols introduced a spin-off series, The Incredible Pol Farm, which premiered on January 6, 2024. Instead of creating an entirely new concept, the family expanded their world in a way that feels both familiar and fresh. The spin-off shifts the spotlight to Charles Pol, his wife Beth, and their children as they embark on a massive undertaking, building a brand new farm from the ground up. The project centers around a sprawling 350-acre property, raw land that the family must transform piece by piece. Viewers follow along as Charles and Beth, with Dr. Pol lending his wisdom and experience, take on everything from clearing fields and putting up buildings to selecting livestock and establishing daily routines. The show offers a warm, often humorous look at the challenges of starting a farm, while still staying true to the Pol family's deep connection with animals. Though the veterinary drama takes a back seat to construction and farm development, fans still get moments of animal care and the occasional case that calls for Dr. Pol's expertise. It's a new chapter for the family, one filled with growth, hard work, and a shared purpose that brings them together in a whole new way. Through both series, the Pol family continues to show that even after tragedy, there are new beginnings, new stories to tell, and new ways to inspire the millions of viewers who have grown to love them. The Incredible Pol Farm gives viewers a closer, more intimate look at the Pol family than ever before. Instead of focusing solely on veterinary cases, the spin-off follows the family as they work side by side, tackling the challenges of building a farm from scratch. Audiences get to watch their teamwork in real time, how they problem-solve, support one another, and celebrate each small victory along the way. It reveals a family that thrives not just in the clinic, but in the dirt, on the land, and in the quiet moments of shared effort. For fans interested in farming, homesteading, or land development, the series opens the door to the real-world process of creating a working farm. Viewers see the physical labor, the setbacks, the decisions that shape the property, and the satisfaction that comes from watching raw land slowly transform into something meaningful. It's a refreshing blend of heartwarming family storytelling and hands-on agricultural adventure. Whether someone has followed the incredible Dr. Pol for years or is simply drawn to stories rooted in family bonds and country life, the Incredible Pol Farm offers a compelling new chapter in the Pol family saga. The series streams alongside the original show on Nat Geo Wild, expanding the world fans already love. Through both programs, the Pol family has allowed millions of viewers into their lives, their triumphs, their struggles, and their greatest heartbreaks. And through it all, Diane Pol's story stands as a powerful reminder that even in moments of deep loss, resilience, love, and family can light the way forward. What part of Diane Pol's story moved you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more stories about the Pol family, their challenges, and their incredible legacy, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content just like this.